Tonight's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if we're going to win or not, but it's going to be a packed house with two good arms.
Why do you believe they wouldn't win?
Well, Texas is good. They're undefeated. Bryce Elder's pitching. He shut them down last year, pitched into the 7th inning. Didn't give up an earned run. Struck out, I think, 6 or 7. Big right-hander with 2 good breaking balls, a slider and a curveball. Sits around 91. I mean, it's a good test. Certainly a step up in class from what you've seen the last couple weekends.
So he's played with the same lineup. I'm telling you, what we're learning about Dust is crazy. We played with the same. LSU has played with the same lineup all week. What did you like about that lineup, and what do you anticipate going into this evening?
I like Mathis in the leadoff spot. He just gives you good at bat. He hits the ball hard. He's got some extra base potential. I think that's a really good fit. And I think they've got bats with Cabrera and Beloso and Garza and some of those guys in the middle that allow you to move a guy who you think would be a middle of the order back it up to the top. I think I like that. I think that moving forward, I think it's reasonable to think that DiGiacomo and Hampton will have their struggles. Cranford will certainly have his troubles swinging the bat. So you've got a bottom third of the order there that's loaded with speed and some upside, and they can have big games like they did on Tuesday or Wednesday, I guess it was. But they're going to struggle a little bit, and we'll see how they do punching up a weight class here this weekend.
So you mentioned DiGiacomo and Hampton. What about the 9-hole, the shortstop, Collier Cranford? Where do you think he's going to hold down that spot?
He's probably their best defensive option. He's got some speed. We'll see if he hits. To expect him to hit 290, I think, is a little unreasonable. There's holes in this lineup. There's holes in this defense. That's where we are at this point in the season. It's far from a completed operation here, but that's the part of the 56-game grind to try to see if someone can emerge. And I'm okay with giving Cranford a shot right now.
Nolan Cain has recruited at a high level since he's been placed as a recruiting coordinator. To me, this is the most impressive freshman class. What do you make of this rookie group?
A lot of talent.
Am I right there? I mean, is this the most impressive one he's brought in?
It's more impressive than last year's crew. Last year's crew was so good on the mound. You had Henry and Marceau and some of those guys. It's a good crop. I think, Hampton is a little bit of help from the football staff to have a first-round pick show up. But there's some talent there for sure in the freshman class. We'll see what Cranford do. I'm excited to see Will Arnold when he gets his time. I mean, that's a kid who I watched play defense for a day and thought he was pretty good, and then he got hurt, and I never got to see him again. But he's definitely got a little bit of potential.
I love Doty, Milazzo. I mean, these guys that come up and get these big hits, and Milazzo, are you kidding me at catcher?
No, he's really good. And if he can hit, 250,
he just started the last 2 years behind the plate.
Yeah, they've been really bad back there. He's really good. I went back and watched the highlights of the game because from Wednesday, because you're distracted trying to watch basketball and baseball's on. And Doty made a play. He didn't throw the guy out, but he made a play up the middle that really was impressive to me. His throw was wide, and so it was a base hit. But I hadn't seen that kind of infield action from him. And he's not a great defender right now, but he's got the ability to be a high-ceiling bat, so I like him in there.
Hunt, so how many do you think they get this weekend? Texas, Baylor, Oklahoma?
I'll just be optimistic and say 2. Tonight's tall order, but Baylor's not great, and we haven't seen pitching rotations lined up yet, but Kendall Rogers was on with me on Tuesday and said that Oklahoma is really good because they've got a really tough 1-2 punch at the top of their rotation that's really good. Well, potentially you play them on Sunday, you may not see those guys. So how weak does that make Oklahoma? I don't know. I don't know much about Big 12 baseball right here, right now. But I think that LSU's got a good team. They're going to throw 3 good starting pitchers out there. Tonight's going to be a ton of fun, and hopefully they can come home with 2.
Now on Saturday, Hunt, before that baseball game, 11 a.m., LSU Basketball back in action in the PMAC, retiring Chris Jackson jersey. That's going to be great. This Texas A&M, looks like they're coming at the right time, right? Does this represent a bit of a get-right game? I mean, this is a bad especially offensively, this is a bad A&M team.
I spent like an hour and 20 minutes last night on a Thursday. I have a really vibrant social life. Yeah. I spent like an hour and a half trying to figure out why A&M is winning games because their non-conference resume is abysmal. I mean, they were atrocious, getting blown out by low-level basketball teams. And all of a sudden you turn up and they're 8-7 in conference play. Like, why?
Got a coach?
They've got a great coach. They play really hard. They're playing with a lot of confidence because they've had some things go right in terms of winning some games, and it's kind of that new push of energy into the program with a new coach. They're not very talented. Now, you mentioned that they're really bad on offense. Except for the last 3 wins prior to Kentucky, the 3 games before that, they were averaging like 79 a game winning. And so there's not a guy that I look at statistically or on the highlights and go, man, you got to stop that guy. Like, no one stands out. Nebo killed LSU the first game in College Station, the only back to the basket post player that's hurt LSU badly in the entire conference slate. But LSU turned the ball way too many times against A&M in that game, and A&M shot, I think, 40% in that game from three, and the rest of conference play they're shooting 28% from three.
Yeah.
So you should win this game, but A&M's playing good.
What's your concern on LSU basketball right now?
Meaning, how grave is it, or what am I most concerned with?
It seems like they're going in the wrong direction.
They are going in the wrong
time.
direction. They can't play defense. That's why I came in here last week and I said I love this matchup with South Carolina, and they should have won that game by 15 points, like I thought they would, because South Carolina has no one that can break them down off the dribble. Anyone that has any ability off the bounce against LSU just kills you, and that's a problem. Now, A&M doesn't have a huge slew of guards that are going to chop you up off the bounce, but they got to play a little bit better defense.
What do you think? How do you think they end the year? I mean, T-Bob was saying yesterday that he expects them to at least compete or win the last three.
It's hard to see them going to Arkansas and winning now that Joe's back. They're a different team with Joe. You look at their record with him and without him, it's not even close. So it's hard to see that one the way they're playing. I think they've got a chance to win the 2 home games, and if they do, 12-6 is comfortably in the tournament. Go up to Nashville, see what you can do, and you're probably an 8 or 9 seed and looking at a pretty quick exit from the tournament. But at least they'd be in it, and that'd be fun.
And 12-6 likes to get you that double bye, right?
It depends on what Florida does against Kentucky the last game.
That's a cool trip you're making this weekend. Enjoy it.
I'm excited. See y'all.
Hunt Palmer will be. We'll talk to you next Friday.